Hi, beautiful beings. I am so grateful to be here with you for some plug in and power up. So grateful to be here with you. This is a show that I have been dedicated to for 10 years, and it's always such a joy to be here with you. Today, we are diving into some energy updates. What's going on in the world, how to navigate this fast moving energy, and then how to be able to face what is changing. Okay, because there's a lot that's going on. And in Plug In and Power Up, we love to be able to have honest conversations, truthful practices that work, and then we plug into source and we power up our day so that we power up our week. So for those of you that are just getting to know me, my name is Tara Antler. I'm an intuitive healer, a soul coach, and spiritual mentor. And I've been doing this, what I call non-work, for coming up to 24 years officially when I first started my business. And one of the things that I love to do most, well, there's a couple things. There's many things I love to do most. Some of them being right now in particular, I really love supporting those that are the visionaries, the business owners, the leaders, to be able to navigate the different season cycles and changes in their life, because there's so much that we're all moving through at any given time. And I know for us, many of you know that we have 3 little ones. Arya is going to be 10 in a couple weeks, which is mind blowing to me. And our twin boys are 7. And we homeschool and we run a business and we have multiple businesses and we have multiple moving parts. And my husband's going for pickleball pro. And so there's so many moving parts. And I get what it takes to run life, business, family, all the things, but not just run it so that we're running it to the grind or we're running it because we have to. We're in our life, enjoying our life, and truly creating the heaven on earth goodness, all the things that we came here for. Because I do believe that you and we came here to create something amazing. I believe that we came here to create something different. And I feel like that's what we're making a return on right now. As we're seeing some of these changes happening in the world, we are having to face a lot of things. Many of you know my intro most of the time is clearing out the ick and the stick. Well, we're facing some ick and stick right now as a collective, some people individually, some people in their business, some people in their health, some people in their relationships, some people in the realm of money. Every area of our life right now is being touched by these changes. And it's a result of the big energies that are happening. So I want to take you back a little bit because it's important to understand how we got here, how we got to this point. And this is so key for any area that you are moving through or dealing with, by the way. If we can't see how we got here, then we don't know what to change, how to change it, or where to even go. So let's look at how we got here. So many can say, how do we get here, as humans? And say hi when you arrive so that I can say hi to y'all. Many can say, how do we get here as humans? Is this a result of all of us making choices? Yes. Is this a result of other people making choices for us? Yes. But then how did we ultimately get here to this point? And I had some really amazing conversations with some friends of mine. We were joking. We said, we need to actually start turning on our phones and capturing these moments, because we have the most deep conversations just when we're sitting having coffee or sitting in our PJs or whatever we're getting ready to do. We have these incredible conversations. And we said, we got to start capturing these because they're meaningful and they're powerful. And they're opening up the energy in a way that you can't even plan for. Hi, Angela. Hi, Judy. So grateful to have you both here. So I want to talk about how we got here. All right. Like all of us. I'm not just talking about you and how you got here. I'm talking about all of us. How did we all get here? And then we're going to talk about our individual self. Okay. But we have to get how we all got here first. All right. Now, many believe that there are these rotational cycles. The Kali Yuga talks about these rotational cycles. If you look at the Mayan calendar, it's a very circular calendar. It's not a box, okay? Gregorian calendar is very boxy. Most calendars, look at the lunar calendar, look at a lot of astrological calendars, they're circular, okay? They have a circle to them because they know that there are seasons and cycles that we move through. Look at what we go through in the Northern Hemisphere. I mean, we're in Mexico. We live in Mexico 6 months of the year. In the Northern Hemisphere, they're getting ready to go into spring. That's a season. That's a cycle that rotates. It changes. And we know that summer follows spring, fall follows summer, etc. Now, there are these other bigger seasonal and cyclical changes that happen. There's a really big one, and some say it's 24,000 years, some say it's 12,000 years, and then there's some variation in between. We'll just agree that it's a big ass time, okay? Like there's a huge season and a huge cycle of time that exists, that every 24,000 or 12,000, okay, a big chunk of time, We move from light age to dark age, light age to dark age, light age to dark age. Now, will this continue forever? I'm not sure. I would hope that we could ascend and evolve past the point of the pendulum swings, past this, whatever these seasons and cycles are, and truly move into heaven on earth for good, forever. Like, can we do that already? Can we ascend to that already? And I believe that many of you have been doing this inner work for a really long time. So you get what I'm saying. It's like we watch our own lives, and everything that I'm going to say on a bigger level, I want you to apply to your own life too, because it's one and the same, micro to macro, macro to micro. I've said this for like 25 years. So it's important for us to look at, when we look at the bigger energy, how do we apply that to our life? And when we look at our life, how do we apply that to the bigger energies? Okay. So we have these cycles and seasons where we're growing and we're learning and we're evolving. And then we ascend, we make this massive ascension, and then we jump back into a light age. And then we run through the seasons and the cycles for 12,000 or 24,000 years, whatever it is. And then we go back into the dark cycle again and we start all over. And it's not that we start from the beginning. Some of you may remember this if you've been in my world for a long time. I saw this from the very beginning because I studied meditation and yoga by myself, self-studied at 14. And I remember looking at the chakra system and I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm like, I kept hearing about these 7-year cycles, right? Like every 7 years you get a new body. Every 7 years, your cells completely regenerate. And I thought, wow, 7 years, every 7 years. I was like, we have 7 main chakras. We have 7 main days of the week, or 7 days a week. We have 7 main colors. There's these 7 colors of the rainbow. And I started to see how these all lined up prior to me reading any other books around this same concept, which there are many books now that are written about that. And so I started looking at these cycles and these seasons, and I was like, the chakra system and these 7 years, they line up. And we go from 1, like chakra 1, which is base, all the way up to the 7th chakra, which is your root. And then we start over again. We go 1 through 7, and then we go 8 to 14, 15 to 21, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, 1 through 7. And when I was thinking about this, hi, Tara, I was thinking about this and I thought, okay, is it really that we're starting all over again? Or is it that we build? So it's like, imagine this is 1 through 7. Now this is, 7 and 8 connect to 14, and then 14, 15 to 21. And we just keep going like this. When I started working with clients and I started training other healers and practitioners, I started seeing this. I could see it with clients because I've also worked with more than 15,000 one-to-one sessions now. And I've seen this over time, that when we go through these 7 cycles, we make a return, just like we call it a Saturn return. Or if you approach 50, you're going through your Chiron return, which very few people talk about. We have these return cycles that we go through. And every 7 years, we hit the root again. And then we go root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, and so on. And we go again. And it's not that you're starting from scratch. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting from what you've learned and how you've grown. You've started again from what you've learned, how you've grown, and you go again. And we're constantly refining and getting better and better, getting more masterful in everything that we know, everything that we are, and everything that we do. Okay? Now, if that's happening in our chakra system, and that's happening in our individual life and journey, we're getting better and better. We're ascending up through the chakra system, and we don't start back at the base at like square zero. We start on top of the next, right? And the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. The same would be true if we're going through these light ages, dark ages, light ages. I remember when we were in our last light age. Now, many of you may have this memory as well. There was a time, a season, a cycle, a civilization that existed where we truly were living heaven on earth, where the colors were very vibrant, where there was no struggle, there was no pain, there was no suffering. I remember living to be some people 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. I remember saying that to my parents when I was younger. Oh, I'm going to live to be 300. Okay, I'm like, that's not possible. And then you start reading text and you start reading certain things that there was a civilization. There was a time when humanity lived to be 600. Okay. Now, some of you might think I'm off my rocker, but you can go search this. I've done so much research on this over the years, as you can imagine, because I want to know the truth. I'm not going to just settle for, oh, well, Too bad, so sad. Your body starts breaking down at 40. No, cancel, delete that. I just turned 48. I feel more vibrant now, healthier now than what I did when I was in my 20s. That's because of my mindset. That's because of how I've learned how to heal and deal with life. I've learned how to move through the seasons and cycles of life. And I've learned how to rewire my mind so that I know that I'm putting in the directive. I'm putting in the instructions to my body. And you all have the same capacity. It's just we forget that we have this power. We forget that we know how to do this. And we fall into the conditioning. We fall into what the rest of the world is going through. So this is where we have to really empower ourselves. So let's come back to these seasons, okay, and cycles. So I remember this time when we lived in happiness and health and prosperity. There was no money struggle. There was no struggle at all. We were living truly as this spiritually awake civilization. It was incredible. There was light everywhere. And we could see that the time was coming, that the fall was about to happen. And the fall from grace, the fall into the shadow, the fall into the dark, going into the dark ages, we could see it was coming. Now, I remember many were freaking out and resisting. Some were thinking, okay, we can prevent this, we can stop this. And some were like, this is one of these inevitable seasons and cycles like the Kali Yuga. You can't change that. It's going to happen. And I remember I had this memory come forward again just a few days ago and yesterday. I was sitting and meditating because we are working on something really big and beautiful for our community, for everyone who's in our world. I can't wait to be able to tell you about what we've got going on over here. And I was meditating yesterday because it's like, whew, I was just like breathing into it. And I'm not pregnant. Okay. So just in case anybody's wondering, I'm not pregnant, but I was breathing into this and I was feeling it in my body. And immediately I was taken back to before the fall. And we were preparing. And there were many of us who were the light workers, the Essene, the high priestesses at that time. And we were planting seeds of light, codes of light, memory into the earth. And giving memory to the earth because we knew that as we fall into this shadow time period, we were going to inevitably forget. We were going to forget who we are. We were going to forget our power. We were going to forget our capacity. We were going to forget our potential. We were going to forget where we came from. We were going to forget what we are. And that is the worst thing. Forgetting who you and what you are, that is the worst thing. And so we planted codes of light across the whole field where we were at this time. Now, this would have been in the time, I would have been living in the time when Egypt and Greece and Turkey hadn't yet separated out. It was just one big, massive land and community civilization. And so we planted these codes, and I could see my other sisters and my other peeps with me. And we were grounding and anchoring these codes of light. And we were preparing because we knew this would be a long, dark season. And there would come a return. And I believe we're now in our return. We're in the return out of the dark ages. Many have been talking about this. I've been saying this for a long time, especially to those who are in our inner circle. When you come into Thrive, when you come into Light Leadership, these are the conversations that we have. I don't often have them out here, but the other day I was like, it's time to start having them a little bit more out here because there's a whole other evolution now happening within Thrive Evolution with our light leaders. So it's like, as they go up, then I can go up in the conversation here. Do you see what I mean? There's stages. There's stages of awakening. There's stages and phases of awareness. And when you come into our inner circle, we call in those that are ready for these deeper conversations because they're ready for those deeper conversations. The rest of the public generally is not ready for these conversations. So I've had to learn how to manage conversations here versus conversations in our inner circle, because we're all growing at different stages and phases. We're all ascending at different times and places and rates. And so I feel like it's time now, finally, just like I know there's higher level conversations in Thrive and Light Leadership right now, there's a higher level conversation being asked to bring forth into the public domain now. And so we have officially moved. We're at that precipice point. We've moved into a space, moving out of the dark ages back into the light. This is a massive cycle, you guys. Massive. So when we look at massive cycles like this, now imagine if it's been 12,000 or 24,000 years, the shadow and the dark has been ruling and running this civilization. I think many of us can agree to this. Hi, Peter. So nice to see so many of our thrivers here. And so the light and the dark have been in this, like, back and forth, back and forth. The shadow and the dark has been kind of running the world. And I think we can all kind of see that, right? We can see what's been creating what it's been creating and then where we are, right? Hasn't been in the highest and best interest of humanity. I'll say that. All right. And just like when I remember that time when we were in the light and we fell into the dark, some were clinging on. Think about when you're going through your own inner healing and your own inner journey. When you face something, when you hit a trigger point, when there's something that you're like, I know I need to heal this. I know I need to grow this. Most of the time, it doesn't just let go with ease. We'd love for it to let go with ease. And there are ways and tools that you can learn when you come in and do some work with us to have that be let go with ease. But most of the time, the ego, or worse off, the shadow, will hold on, holds on for dear life. It doesn't want to let go. Your ego doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to go through the identity shifts. It doesn't want to let go. It wants to hold on. It wants to keep you exactly where you are because it knows safety. It craves safety and it craves that comfort. So it doesn't want to let go. It wants to keep you exactly where you are. And so it fights. It fights to hold. It fights to keep you where you are. Now imagine this on a grander scale, okay? If the shadow has been running the world and civilizations for, let's say, 12,000 or 24,000 years, somewhere in there, not ballpark, that's a long time to reign over civilization, to reign over the world, to reign over humanity, okay? So now they also see, oh, shoot, it's that time where our season is done and the light now gets to return. Do you think it's going to just lay over and be like, no problem, no problem. We're just going to let that go. We're just going to let go of our reign, let go of control, and we're just gracefully going to move into the light. Do you think that's what it's really going to think? Think about your ego for a moment. The ego likes to hold on. The shadow likes to hold on. So what happens is it's holding on for dear life. It's holding on for dear life. So this is why we're seeing so much coming at us, especially if you're Canadian right now or in some of the countries where the people haven't yet risen up to really find their voice and say enough is enough. Partly because certain cultures and countries and people become kind and nice. And sometimes kind and nice, it's nice. I like kind and nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm like humanitarian lovers, through and through, Aquarian here, And you sometimes have to stand. You got to sometimes stand for your truth and your right and your stand and your truth and your right. You know what I mean? You got to stand. You got to take a stand. You got to find your voice. You got to say, this actually isn't cool. And I'm going to speak out about it. People become afraid. And especially in this time and space where there's so much. So certain countries are being slammed right now. I'm watching what's going on in so many countries. And there's so much coming to the surface right now. Land being taken away, digital ID. I mean, the vax stuff, that's the least of our worries at this point. There's so much that's coming at us right now. Financial system, health, education. Then add on top what we just got revealed with all the pedophilia stuff in the world. People are like, what is happening? Why does it seem like everything's imploding? Why does it seem like there's so much shadow on the earth right now? Why does it seem like there's so much going on? Is there this much darkness? I didn't realize there was this much darkness. Yes, because we've been focused in a different direction. But when something's getting ready to change, when something's getting ready to shift, when something's getting ready to heal, all the stuff comes up. It's just like you. When you're healing through something, I have seen this in the 15,000 plus sessions that I have done, one-to-one. Every single time when someone's getting ready to heal something, shift something, change something. Hi, Francesca. Thanks for being here. Every single time. And leave me questions. If you guys have questions about what I'm talking about, I'm happy to answer questions as we're going along here, okay? We're going to be together for probably another 10 to 15 minutes. When you get ready to shift something and heal something, all the stuff all of a sudden starts coming up. All your past patterns, all the past habits, all the egos holding, all your resistance, all your restriction, your shadow comes up and it presents itself and it doesn't let go that easily. And all of a sudden you're like, I signed up for healing. Why is there so much stuff coming up? And you're like, well, you signed up for healing. You haven't looked at what you needed to heal regularly enough to see. This is why it's so important to do daily shifts, daily transformation, daily transmutation, daily healing. When you do it daily, it doesn't seem like a big deal because it's just a part of your everyday. I shift something within myself every single day, you guys. Every single day, something comes up, a trigger will come, and I heal it and I shift it. And I'm done with it in less than 5 minutes. How can I shift something that quickly? Because I've done the work all the time. It's not just something I pick up occasionally and be like, oh, now I've got a whole bunch of stuff to deal with. Now I got to deal with it. No, this is just part of my lifestyle. That's why we say Thrive Evolution is a lifestyle container. It's not a program. It's not a course that you come in and take once and then you're done with it. It's a lifestyle container. And if you want to continue to evolve, you need stuff like that in your world to help remind you. That's what we do best is we remind our clients, we remind the business owner, we remind the leaders, the visionaries. It's okay. We've got seasons and cycles in our life. There's massive change happening right now. Can we have a way, learn a way, be supported in a way where you can move through that with ease and grace and not fall in the fold of all the chaos? Because that's what's happening right now. When there's that much coming, when there's that much change, when there's that much coming to the surface, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel frustrating. It can feel like, I don't even know what to do. So many people throw in the towel. I don't even know how to handle this. They throw in the towel. I don't even know how to handle this. I'm going back to sleep. I don't even want to look at what's going on in the world. Put the goggles back on, put them thick, make them real thick so I don't see anything of what's going on in the world. I don't want to look at any of it. If we don't look at it, we can't change it. If we don't heal it, we can't change it. If we don't change it, we can't see something different. You see what I'm saying? And so this is our time. This is why it's all coming to the surface right now. It's all coming because we're getting ready to move into the light era. We're moving into the light age, the golden age. And every shadow being that's been running this whole thing for the last however many 12,000, 24,000 years, they know it. But they're gripping. And we also have to each take responsibility for healing and clearing our own inner turmoil. And we have to do that now. This is why there's been so much coming to the surface for so many people. It can feel big and it can feel overwhelming. So if you've been feeling that, a couple things that I recommend, and I have a few more things that I want to say before we go. One, if you haven't yet registered for our free Thrive in 5 masterclass experience, we're calling it Thrive in 5 with a twist. We're doing it over a weekly experience instead of condensing it all in a 5-day, which adds to more overwhelm for many people already in a state of overwhelm. We are meeting every Tuesday at 12 Eastern, and we're giving you a core teaching and a core Thrive in 5 practice. So we're giving you a teaching and we're giving you a practice so that you can apply that practice in your life. Thrive in 5, 5-minute practices. That's it. Not something that's going to take you an hour or 20 minutes, a 5-minute practice. And we know that these are powerful because when Gabriel and I had the little ones, 3 under 3, we had to shorten our practices that were usually 20 minutes to 5 minutes because that's all we had time for. And we knew that they still worked because we were seeing them work. If you've watched our journey, you still see that we're still thriving. Have we had challenges to face? Of course. And we still move through them. Has the business experienced challenges? Absolutely. The world is changing. Finances are changing. Investment options and opportunities are changing. We've definitely faced so much, and we're still growing and still moving and still showing up. Is parenting easy every day? No, it's not. There are challenges parenting and homeschooling, especially add homeschooling into parenting. There are challenges every single day. Hi, Tika. And have we given up on parenting? And have we given up on homeschooling? No, we're still doing it because we learned and we are learning how to grow through that. We become better and better, but it's through our intention. It's through our practices. It's through showing up. So that's step number 1. If you need a reboot, just type 5 and I'll send you the link. We're going to be having our second week. We had last week, and then we have our second week tomorrow at 12. Okay. So that's step number 1. Register for Thrive in 5 if you haven't yet done that. It's free, 100% free. If you want to go deeper, that this is where you have a really cool opportunity to go deeper and come and join us in Thrive. We've restructured Thrive Evolution. Like I said, it's not a program that you come and take once. It's a lifestyle incubator. And you can come in for a month. You can come in and do monthly. You can come in and join us for a year, whatever you choose. It's your own adventure. We've made it really easy for people to say yes. We've taken out the one-to-ones. That's an additional add-on for people. And if you want just one-to-one work, message me. Every month we take on 2 to 3 private one-to-one clients. Oh, internet's doing something funny, so I'll just give it a minute. So every month we take on anywhere from 2 to 3, 1 to 2, depending on our time, private clients. So if private mentorship is what you're craving, reach out to me. We have a couple spaces for the next month, month and a half, okay? If you enjoy being in these incubator spaces, Thrive Evolution is incredible. We've created a simple, easy month to month because we get that there are changes, right? This is a space where you get to deepen all this work that I'm talking about. So just type TE if you're interested in Thrive Evolution. I'll send you the link, okay? And take a step. This is something that I see happening so much right now. And I have one more thing that I want to share, but take a step. So many times we're so inundated with so much going on that we're like, oh, I'll get to that later. Like, do you know how many times people are like, send me the link for your journal? Okay, these beautiful journals that I wrote. And then people forget. And I get it because I do the same thing. But now I'm taking on a better habit and practice where I'm like, if I see something that I want, there's something I want to jump into, if there's something I want to say yes to, and it's a full yes, I just go do it now because I know that my time and my energy is going to get filled up with something else in a matter of moments. And then I'm going to forget. And then I have 100 tabs open either on my phone or my computer, and I haven't done the thing that I said I was going to do, right? So it's the same thing. Take a step and follow it through. Many times that's the very thing that creates change is the following through on the step. We all know what we need to do many times, but we don't follow it up with what the step is. So that would be my second recommendation. Whatever you know the next step is that you need to take, or whatever you're saying yes to, take the step, follow it through. You're going to find new energy will start supporting you, and new energy will come in and move you instead of stagnate you. Okay? Last thing that I want to say. So there are big energies now, really big, bigger than ever before. When we're moving from these collective or individual dark age to light age, moving through all the inner stuff, moving through all the global stuff, it seems scary. And it feels hard on the heart. And it feels like pressure. And it's hard on our mind. This is why we're doing our Thrive in 5 right now too. Because we saw that people needed support right now. They needed guidance and they needed to see a way through. So we're going to be helping you with that. But when you have these big energies, okay, big energies means there's an opportunity to move fast. There's an opportunity to really clear whatever this old stuff is that's been hanging out for a long time. There's a really great opportunity for you all to clean house big time right now. And on top of that, well, I'll talk about that in a second. On top of that, we've got a Mercury retrograde. So whenever there's a retrograde in a planet, the energy gets a little choppy, churny. Weird things start happening. Now, Mercury is all about our communication, our expression with ourselves, with one another, communication tools and devices, internet, computers, things get going haywire, signals getting mixed up. So it's really important when there's a retrograde that you find your feet, you find your grounding, you get grounded. You get grounded. When you get grounded, you start to stabilize. I was recording the audiobook for the healing manual yesterday because on Sundays there's no construction here beside us. And so it's super quiet. And I was reading the rest of chapter 1 and chapter 2. And I shared a new grounding practice. So for those of you, some of you have the book already. It's in there, but I'm adding new material to it. So if you want early access to the audiobook, come and join me on Substack. Okay. Find me on Substack. And I was walking through this grounding practice. And the moment I did, I felt my energy go, it's like my vertebrae stacked, my energy stabilized, and I felt calm. I felt clear. I felt re-energized. Even though I could sense the chaos happening in the world, it wasn't in my field. Make sense? This is a really important time for you to find your footing, find your grounding, get grounded, connect to Gaia, connect to Mama Earth, because it's going to help stabilize you. It's going to help you feel safe and held, especially because root chakra, as a collective, we're all going through root chakra right now. Root chakra systems are all changing and churning. And with that change, it feels destabilizing. So when something's destabilized, we got to stabilize. When something's churning, we need calm and center. Okay. So there's big energy. And the last thing that I want to say is When there's a retrograde, you got to be on your toes for fast movement. There's fast changes happening right now. And I don't know if that's having to do with the retrograde or something else, but I've been noticing the energies are asking me to be flexible. Be on your toes, Tara. Be light on your toes right now. Fast changes. I literally feel like I'm on a checkerboard or a chessboard, and I'm like boop, 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 boop. Like I'm literally being bounced around, or even like the ping pong game, or the game with the ball. I can't even think of what it is right now. The ball that fires off and you hit the thing and it goes ding, 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 ding. I can't think of the name of it, but you know what I mean? I feel like that right now. I feel like the ball is literally being like bing, 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 bing in the arcade games, you know? And I keep hearing from source, be light on your toes. Be light on your toes. Be flexible. Be flexible to move. Be flexible to shift. Be flexible in your thinking. Be flexible in your decisions. Ground yourself. Get stabilized. Come back to your heart and your center and get clear in your mind, and you'll know exactly what to do. Don't make a move. Pinball. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Francesca. That's exactly it. I couldn't think of the name. That's exactly what it is. The pinball machines. Thank you for that. And so they said, then you'll know what to do. You'll know the move to make. And it's going to come from a very clear, centered place, not frenetic. When you make decisions from frenetic, chaotic energy, you eventually will have frenetic, chaotic results that you're going to have to deal with and face at some point. So while the energy is churning and everything's moving and the energy is fast right now, bing, 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 bing. Frenetic energy, you got to stabilize. Frenetic energy, you got to come back to center and calm. That requires connecting into the earth, connecting to creator, connecting to your heart. This is why being in conversations like this, being in communities, whether it's in Thrive in 5 or Thrive Evolution, are so essential right now, because we get to come together and remind each other. We're like, hey, I get it. I feel like a pinball right now. I get it. Breathe, stabilize. I got you. Great. I feel good again. Okay, go again. And you go face the world again. And many of you are the light leaders of the world. You are the light workers of the world. So you're on top of what you're dealing with individually. You're now also feeling and dealing with the energies of the world. That's a whole other conversation for another day. That's why it's even more important to surround yourself, be in conversations, communities, spaces, and places that are nourishing, that are supportive, that can hold you. Because if you're holding other people, you need a space to be held too. And this is where it's so important to do what you need to do to feel that, to get in spaces like that. The very last thing that I want to say is, because there's fast moving energy, we have the potential and the capacity right now to actually create something new really fast. And that's exactly what we've been creating. Something very fast came into the field, and I felt it, and I sat with it, and I was like, okay. And light leaders know I've been sharing the journey. Thrivers know a little bit too I've been sharing the journey of being able to hold this big vision and watch it come to fruition, not by force, not by push, not by ego, none of that. With true energetic alignment and peace and trust and love and alignment and listening. A big part of this big creation that we'll share with you in the coming months has been about listening and deep trust. There's been no frenetic energy around it at all. And the moment I feel frenetic energy, so I want to share this with you to complete. The moment you feel frenetic, chaotic energy, come back to your breath. Come back to center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Find your footing. Find your grounding. Find your heart. And find your connection to source, and reconnect, so that those 3 points of power are in sync, are in harmony, in alignment, and you feel stabilized. This is really, really important right now. The energies are big. They are churning. It's bigger than an era, you guys. This is either like a 24 or 12,000 year cycle is ending. Just think about that for a moment. Our ego struggles with a year if we have to clear something. It struggles with a lifetime, which is relatively short in the grand scheme of life. It struggles to hold on to pains and pasts and stories and traumas. How do you think the collective is feeling right now as we are letting go of either a 12 or a 24,000 year cycle? You want to believe it's holding on. There's a lot of holding on that's happening. And if you feel and find yourself holding on, you got to change up what you're doing. You got to do something different. You got to break your own patterns. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over, you got to actually embrace change. You have to do something different. That is number one. You have to do something different now. To initiate something different, to create something different, you have to choose something different. You have to do something different now. You can't, we're out of time, guys. Like Creator keeps saying, time's up. We're out of time. Time's up. You're either going to ascend and make your ascension journey, which is going to move you into a whole new earth. It's going to move you into the light earth. It's going to move you into the golden earth energy. Or you're going to find yourself in a repeat cycle for maybe another 24,000 years. I was given that vision back in 2020. That's the intensity of what this is right now. You have to choose something different. You got to make some change now. And as you make change, as you heal the one, you heal all. As you make change, you shift the whole thing and you will evolve. You will actually grow and ascend. You'll make your ascension with this new energy, with this new earth, with this new timeline, which is heaven on earth, for real. There's many of us who are already experiencing it. And there are many that are still struggling. I find myself sometimes holding space as if I'm like holding one foot in the new earth and I'm holding one foot on the old earth because I love humanity so much. Like for real, it makes me want to cry most days. I love humanity so much that I would love everybody to make their ascension. And I'm starting to see and realize not everybody's going to do that. And that makes me sad a little bit. And at the same time, I have to keep focusing on our ascension and our growth and supporting those who want to keep coming and want to keep growing and want to keep ascending and want to actually create heaven on earth already. So if this speaks to you, you're our peeps. Let's do this in whatever capacity resonates with you. Thrive in 5 is a great place to start. Fantastic place to start. Many of our clients started with Thrive in 5 and then they came into Thrive Evolution and then they did some of our other programs, our certifications in light leadership, our mastermind. Some people just knew right out of the gate. So they were like, I want to do this deep dive work. And they came right into Thrive Evolution. And then they went on and did other things. This is the deep work. So for those of you in Thrive and light leadership, we're going higher. We're going to start the conversation now around creating heaven on earth. We've got a little bit of like healing out of the stories. We're in the heal the past, heal all. So we're moving that still this last little bit as we approach spring energy. Once we hit spring, Thrivers and light leaders, like we're going for it. We're creating heaven on earth. And this is the objective. This is the intention. This is what we need to do now. And so I'm so excited to share even more. I got to pause because I feel like I'm going to dip into my other content that I have for you all here for tomorrow. Thrive in 5 is tomorrow at noon. Make sure that you register for it. If you want to do this deeper work, just type TE in the comments. I'll send you the link for Thrive Evolution. I want to thank you. And I want to end with this. Be grounded today. Find your feet. Connect to your heart and your breath. Connect to Source, Creator, God, the Infinite, the Divine. Find your stabilization. Find your center. And you've got to do something different. If you're resisting change, if you're seeing all the chaos and all the changes happening in the world, you have to make change. If you want to see change, you have to lead the way. You want to see the world change, you have to change. You want to see change, you have to change. You want to see change, you have to change. I'll keep repeating that until I complete this time here. You want to see change, you have to change. There's no shortcuts around that. Okay? Love you so, so much. So, so grateful. So happy to be here with you all. So grateful to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here for Plug In and Power Up. I'm sending infinite love, infinite light to you all. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being courageous. And thank you for being willing to make something different, do something different, change something in your life so that we can actually change what's going to happen next. Okay? We'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye.